Hey everybody, welcome to Villain Support. Levi and I are talking at the same time. I'll let Levi talk now.
There we go. I usually do the opening.
I know.
It's Little Member Solutions over here with Chris. We got a couple special guests with us today. Chris will be bringing them in and introducing them here in a moment. I want to say something for Chris, though, and have you guys get all of his reaction. As you guys know, we usually do a little dance when the music goes on. What Chris doesn't know is that the new opening doesn't show us anymore. So he doesn't actually have to do the dance anymore.
I see it. I see me behind it.
You don't. It doesn't show
I'm
us.
dancing for no reason.
Yeah.
I hate dancing.
I know. I just get
okay.
Quiet.
Well, now that I'm mad, let's bring our guests on. So we've got guests from the RetConversations Podcast. We have Josh, Jen, and Leia. Let's bring them in. Everyone say hi.
Hello.
Hello. Anyway, I meant the fans,
the
but
audience.
you guys can say hi also. So Josh and Jen and Leia run a podcast called RetConversations, which I'll let them explain what that is. I've been a guest on their show. It is super, super fun. It's all about comics and kind of digging into like what makes sense and what doesn't in hindsight. Right?
Right. So my favorite, and thank you, Chris and Levi, for bringing us on. My favorite way to explain our show is the story that it came about on. So Jen and I, Jen lived in Chicago for 22 years. And so Leia lives there now, as well as our friends, Mike and Meredith. And we all met at a brewery that we like kind of was our place to go to. And we're having beers. And our friend Mike does not read comic books. Is not a big fan of superheroes in general. But we, for some reason, get into a conversation about Civil War. Not the movie
was coming out.
Yes, but not the movie, the comic book. So I bought a round because I said, you're going to need another drink for this. We then went an hour and a half from memory trying to remember things about Civil War. And actually our symbol, which you can barely see over here, is a picture that we took that day of our friend Mike with like in shock and horror as we're explaining the plot to him. And we were like, for a couple of years after that, we were like, we should make this a podcast. This would be so fun. So the idea is that if somebody has not read a comic, but they're curious about it, like if you've heard of a comic, but you haven't, you don't want to put in the time and invest, we will read it for you and then explain it to you. And you get to ask any questions or whatever, comments you want to make, like we did with you, Chris, with the beginning of Age of Apocalypse. We have at least 2 more sessions that we need to go through.
That was so fun.
Do we though?
It was so fun to go through and listen to you explain what happened and be able to be like, wait, they did that? You're like, yeah, right. I know, it's so dumb.
Yeah, and so Chris, you and I have known each other for 20 years.
Met in when was the Hope open? 2001 or 2002?
Wow.
Yeah. So we've known each other over 20 years. But you had the whole villain support thing happening, and actually you reached out to me and you're like, hey, are you interested in helping do some of this writing? And at the time I was doing like 4 podcasts and I was like, I can't. I just can't. My wife will divorce me. And so but now like you came back and I said, okay, I do have an idea and this will be great. And can we, you listen to our episodes or let us know, because we make fun of the villains a lot. Good. A lot. I mean, we make fun of everybody a lot. Tony Stark needs therapy.
Yeah.
And there's only one psychologist, Doc Samson, in all of Marvel.
Really. He stretched too thin, man.
Yeah. But when Mr. Sinister shows up, Mr. Glam, we have a whole thing about that. Anyway, that's what we do. And we've been doing it for 7 seasons now. We're about to start our 8th. We are releasing season 7 slowly but surely right now. I'm getting back on the schedule.
Awesome.
And so I threw it to you, and that's how this came about. Samson does have issues, Leo Spitz. I agree with you, but he is still. If you've seen the Apple show Shrinking, even therapists can have issues as long as they stay professional.
So, White, what you're saying is Doc Samson has good resilience against stress.
Yes, he also does have fabulous hair.
And he's
true.
also drawn that way.
Yeah. Lovely, flowing green hair. I love me some Doc Samson.
Awesome. So for anyone who listens to podcasts, RetConversations is incredibly fun. Like Josh said, it's a chance to listen, basically have someone read a comic to you, but also give you a chance to listen to his commentary and Leia's commentary and Jen's, and also kind of think of your own. Now, when I listen to podcasts, it's all audio. I don't listen on the computer. Is there an opportunity to leave comments?
Yes, we do have our YouTube channel as well. All of our stuff is available wherever you can get podcasts, but I wanted to make sure we actually just this week got a super amazing comment from somebody that was going through a rough time in their life and happened to find our podcast and ran through it and happened to leave us a comment that meant the world to us. So yeah,
it came at the perfect moment. It was magnificent.
I love comments like that. We get a lot of those where people are like, I've had a crap week and this video just made my day. Thank you. It's great to get those comments.
Oh yeah, villain support is definitely on my I've had a really bad day. I'm gonna lay in bed before I go to sleep and just run through the last 3 months worth of what you guys have put out.
Well, we've actually got some compilations on YouTube that are 60 minutes long. Just do those, and then we get more ad revenue.
I was watching some of the playlists earlier today.
Yeah, Deadpool and the Borg is probably my favorite. Yeah.
I'm really happy that you like that compilation, the long form video, because
yeah, I'm sure it was a pain to put together.
Oh yeah, we've both watched it multiple times and been like, we need to remake this, but it's gonna be so hard.
And then there's the fact that when I was editing, I've learned to back my things up the hard way.
Yep, we've lost one episode. We've only lost one.
I lost hours of work on editing, and I was just like, I remember telling Chris, I was like, I'm delaying, we're not going to be able to put this out. And he was like, why? What's wrong? And I was like, I lost a bunch of work, and I'm tired, and I'm just not going to go back into it.
Yeah, but the one thing that I love about this is if we are behind, it's like, cool. There's no deadlines. Just publish it when you publish it, and that works. Yeah. So part of why. So everyone who's watching, again, go follow and listen to RetConversations. It's super fun. But the reason we have. Oh, go ahead.
We just dropped yesterday the episode that is Operation Zero Tolerance, and if you haven't listened or don't understand what Operation Zero Tolerance is, if you've watched X-Men 97, it's the comic that X-Men 97, this season that was put out on Disney Plus, was loosely based off of. And oh my God, it's crazy. It's so crazy. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but it was very crazy. And it does, I will say, as a little teaser for why you should go and listen, it does have the best example of Jonah Jameson I have ever read in a comic, period. Spider-Man or not.
So one of the things I will say about Josh's podcast, from what little I have listened to it, I'm not into podcasts at all. The irony is not lost on me. to anyone who's about to say how ironic that is, considering we're trying to start a podcast. The iron's not lost on me. But I like the level of professional quality, the way that they speak. I listened to Josh's podcast, the longest I have ever listened to a podcast, which was over 10 minutes.
Hey,
Wow.
One of the things, and no one, I hope you guys don't take it. I could legitimately listen to Josh's podcast if I wanted to go to bed too. Now, I'm not saying it's boring. I'm not saying that. Josh, you have a voice that is soothing to listen to.
I know it puts me to sleep every day.
Yeah. She says that like I don't go to bed at 10 and she goes to bed at midnight.
Whatever.
But Chris, you're not muted, right?
No, I'm not muted. I was pretending to fall asleep.
Cool. I wanted to show this a little bit earlier because I know that everyone here is slightly a fan.
Very
Oh
nice.
man, okay.
It popped up.
Wow.
What's cool about this is that this is 3D printed.
Wow.
This is 3D print. This part is 3D printed and electroplated, which is why I wanted it because it was $12 is all it was.
What?
The one that you get that's like the official one, which actually has Barbasol on it, is like $300. It does the exact same stuff, but it's all aluminum.
I
And
like
it doesn't
dinosaur.
spray. Neither one of them do, not the official one or this one. And I was just like, well, if neither one of them spray, I don't want to spend $300
Right.
Yeah.
on something that I'm gonna show off in a video while I'm talking about how we helped create it or something like that, right?
Right. But the reason we wanted to bring Josh and Jen and Leia on is we had an idea for a collaboration. One of the sources that we use the least is the original comics. Levi and I do know some comics. We know graphic novels more, shows more, cartoons more, movies more, video games than we know comics. And we're like, I was like, and Levi agreed with me, that RetConversations goes through newer comics, older comics, etc., and enjoys them, but also tears them apart.
Yes, indeed. And that's the fun part for our own sanity.
Yeah. And I reached out to Josh and I'm like, how difficult would it be for you in the process of doing RetConversations to identify points in the comics that would make great villain support calls? And Josh was like, that would be easy. And I'm like, how would you feel about incorporating that into your show? We promote you when we use your ideas. You promote us by saying this will make a great villain support video, and we both have more fun. And RetConversations was like, yeah. So we're gonna chat about how that might work for a bit, and then Josh and Leia can stick around for as long as they want while we're live.
Cool. So my first example is from the episode yesterday. So there is a situation in Operation Zero Tolerance where the bad guy, Bastion, captures the X-Men. He captures almost all of them. He has Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine. I'm trying to remember who else is on there, but it's Storm, a couple others. However, and so they get taken to this base, right? And this base has guards that are bringing the X-Men in, and all of them are in like full restraints. And one of the guards is like, this one's almost dead. Take off his restraints and just throw him in the incinerator. And that one is Wolverine. And like looking back on it, I'm like, oh my God, if it was just a villain support call as Wolverine is tearing this entire base apart. And they called John. And like the manager who's watching just on the video screens is like, hey, so there's this guy. He's just going through, and we were just going to throw him in the incinerator, but he came back to life, and we're not exactly sure what is.
We're having such a bad time right now.
and it just seems like one of the calls that John would take in a day.
Yeah,
that's a
which guard took off the restraints?
Fire that man.
Yeah. How long has Jerry worked there? Okay, tell him that he didn't pass his probation period and get rid of him.
How much do a pair of restraints cost?
Right. Well, that is.
Wait, rewind that. You're telling me you would have to pay, Jerry would get severance pay if you fired him? Tell him his severance pay is not getting torn apart by Wolverine.
He gets to go home now.
Yeah. He gets to see his wife and child again.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of like we talked about that for quite a bit. Like, it was like, do these guards not read dossiers on the people that are coming in?
Right. And like, you wouldn't even need a particularly lengthy dossier either. Like, the guy is clearly Wolverine. Like, that's
yeah.
Is it Wolverine? Like,
he's the guy that looks like Wolverine.
Comics too, isn't he? Like,
all of the X-Men are. They're celebrities.
So
you
how?
Imagine? You imagine these guards going like, where do we find these guys? I don't know. They must have raided some costume party or something. You know?
Well, keep in mind though, because you got to think about this. This is a government facility that they're in, which means, and it's a top secret government facility, which means these people have top secret government clearance, and they're deciding, oh yeah, no, that guy, the hairy guy, yeah, just toss him in the incinerator. But make sure you take the restraints off. Those are like $10.
Right.
Well, they must
The Wolverine dossier's got to look like the Happy Fun Ball one too, right? Like,
Do not touch Happy Fun Ball. Oh yeah.
Or we put this guy in the incinerator, and now he's really mad. Wait, in the incinerator? Yeah.
he's mad.
Whatever you do, don't open that door.
Okay, but we had to look, right?
I know. I was like, so we didn't open the door. I feel like there's a butt coming on.
Yeah. So this T-1000 skeleton busted its way out of the incinerator.
Oh my God.
Hey, boss, one of these guys is a Terminator. What?
I don't think you guys deal with the Terminator.
Yeah.
The classic, like,
Tell
melting.
that to the guy in front of.
Right?
Oh my God, no! I just had a brilliant idea. They could distract him with a redhead.
Oh, it's true. True. Grab a random redhead.
Like, wave him around in the air.
I had one more Terminator joke. I'm sorry. Hey, boss, there's a Terminator here, but they must improve their programming because it doesn't have the accent.
This one's Canadian?
It says bub.
I'll be Bub.
That's another thing. Wolverine is canonically incredibly heavy, so it's not like they threw him in the incinerator. It's more along the lines they drug his body and kind of shoved him in there.
Yeah,
right.
That wasn't an indication that something was amiss.
Who's in the incinerator? I don't know. Some guy with a bunch of locks in his pockets.
Yes. We didn't take the locks because they weren't our restraints that are so valuable.
Is that all
Just
Canadians
Jinkos.
Here's the joke for that. You used the joke that said that there's the reason why they're known for the what is it called? Not the wartime thing.
Mounties?
Oh, the Geneva Convention.
Oh,
Yeah.
They call it the Geneva Suggestion.
Fair enough.
So
Get him in a carrion
sounds
of
like we have
beer.
a Canadian chiming in. We are nice until we aren't, per Colin Swiggle.
Elbows up.
Like,
Yes. Thank you for tuning
we-
into a bunch of Americans stream right now.
we don't one of our hard and fast rules on this channel is no politics, no religion, and no real people. It's fine. I have a lot of my own comments that I'm not making right now because we have that rule. We don't want to attract trolls because they will show up. And people don't come to this channel for that. Those are the reasons why. Believe me, there's lots of stuff I've wanted to say that I have not said.
There are a few exceptions, not political, but so much as like there are certain videos that I have done that Chris has done. The Constantine series is a good example. Poking the bear. I'm guessing you've seen my Constantine series.
I have. I love your Constantine.
Where I poke the bear on the different types of food. And the funny thing about that is like you got some people who got legitimately angry and pressed over it, and I'm like, half of these jokes came from people in the UK.
Yeah.
Like I create this with the audience.
Or from yeah.
I thought all Canadian malice went into the geese.
Fact.
Oh man. Yeah. 100% fact. That is the war that Canada is declaring on us, is sending us geese. They weaponized their geese. Well,
meditate and transfer your anger to the geese.
I will warn your audience. Our show does not have those limitations, mostly because while I am a cis white dude, my co-host is a wonderful queer Jewish woman, and so
look right up there, Leah.
That's right.
Leah, look right up there.
Hey.
We got in trouble for that picture back on Facebook when we were much smaller.
Oh wow.
It was that and mentioning the sticker business that I'm pretty sure that caused us some issues, and it wound up disappearing for a while, as well as any mention of that community had to be like it was bad.
Yeah.
It sucked. But yeah, like it exists there now and no one complains about it, and I'm really happy about that.
Wonderful.
So one of Leia's best friends decided that it would be a good idea for us to do the Captain America series where he is Hydra.
Not just any friend. I want to point out that this is one of my best friends in the world, who I've known for at least 2 decades. We are very close. We know each other very well. And
so we did this, but we're going through alternate covers. And that's one of the things that every once in a while we do, because there is some great art right now in variant covers. But one of them was Magneto in a Hydra outfit. Magneto shows up nowhere in this series.
No, he's not there at any point. We didn't need to do this.
But just that image was enough.
How often, and so what you're talking about, that happens with a lot of anime when they make the trailer for it, and you see snippets of a fight scene, and you're like, I have to see that.
And it doesn't actually happen.
And then the series comes out, and it's like the first 7 seconds of the first episode, and the snippet you saw is the only part of that fight scene that you get. There's a new show out right now that apparently is getting rave reviews. I'm not going to name it, but the animation in the previews was incredible, and that is the beginning of the first episode. And once the fight scene animation is over, it stops being hand animated and it's CGI.
Oh no!
Like 8 minutes in, and I remember like yawning and like being like, "That was cool." Look back, I'm going, "Did I change shows?
Am I having a stroke?"
So there was years ago. I don't know how familiar you are with Dragonlance, but they did a Dragonlance animated like show, but they did it with the animation style of like the old Hobbit animation, like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
But the dragons were CGI.
How long ago was this made?
I want to say early 2000s.
Ooh,
so it was
like bad CGI too.
They would have been better off hiring Ray Harryhausen to do claymation dragons.
Yes.
With the CGI at that point.
Twilight was done in 2008. So, so you would have like this It looked like hand drawn, amazing. The voice cast was amazing. So, like, Kiefer Sutherland was Raceland, Lucy Lawless was Goldmoon, Michael Rosenbaum was in it, Michelle Trachtenberg, Jason Marsden, like, amazing voice cast. And then all of a sudden CGI dragon. But yeah, that's what I think of when I think of that. I'm like, what? But who thought this was a good idea? Like, people were already drawing stuff. So
or you have something that has a complete tone shift from what it originally was. And there's some cases that it's done really well. Shield Hero is a good example of where it's done well. You have this tone shift, I would say, in the middle of it. Now, I haven't seen the anime, but like from the manga, it went from him having a hard time, him getting massively just shit on. I think we're at the point where I can cuss now. Yep, we are.
Woo! We're in our element.
Where he becomes the full-on like hero that everyone listens to and properly and everything. And that was done really well. It was done over a course of time. And then you have shows that you just stare and go, what happened? What?
Yeah.
What did I blinked and the entire show went from cute and cuddly to murder hobo.
So sometimes it's done as a gag, like Dragon Half. Like, you know, it'll be very serious and whatever, and then all of a sudden when it's in a moment, it's like, which is like a chibi, you know, cutting in, or like the Clerks cartoon where they have the whole bit about the Korean animators.
I loved that so much. Bear is driving. Why is Bear driving?
Bear is driving. How could this be?
Yeah. How can this
when
be?
it happens in an episode, and it's at the like start of it, it's understandable. But when you go from a tone shift and like the rest of the anime, manga, show, whatever, is that tone shift, and it's just this abrupt, it's like, okay, who fired the original writer? Because like there's no reason for it. And then when there are reasons for it, there's also a coin toss in that too. Is like, is this because an apocalypse, the situation essentially happened, and now we're in this tone shift, or is this because all of a sudden they just needed to make it dark and gritty because they were losing viewership?
Right. Yeah.
Or cutesy because that's what's pop. I hate it when it's done because it's what's popular at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. Like, stick to your tone. There's enough animation styles. There's enough, and it also works in the world of comics, right? We deal with this all the time, where there are amazing stories, but the artists that you've gotten for it, oh my god!
I am always the biggest
Spider-Man
complainer about the artists too. Like, I like very specific types of art, and like art from certain eras just does not do it for me in any way.
Right?
like 80s art, big fart noise. No, thank you.
Art is so important to me with anime that I can't watch One Piece. The story I'm excited by. I cannot stand the art from One Piece, especially in the early seasons.
Sure, yeah. Like, I totally get that. Totally do. It's the same, very similar reason why I really enjoyed the story of like the Persona games, but I can't play them. The visual style is just like
too
overwhelming for me or something. I don't know, but it doesn't work for me, which stinks because I really like I like the concept of those games. What I've seen of them sounds great. The plot, wonderful. Can't look at it.
Yeah, I'm not
Joe
a
is
fan of
yeah,
the art
absolutely.
for JoJo either. It reminds me of someone trying to do the art from Fist of the North Star and making it cute somehow, and I just don't like it.
So to give a little background into my life, in the early 2000s, 2004, I worked for Bandai America in Los Angeles. I worked in their collectible card division, which was putting out things like Digimon. We did the first Teen Titans card game, and Gundam War. But one of the rules, since I was on like the forums and I was in charge of marketing, was I had to know all of the products. And so Teen Titans, not that bad. I actually really enjoy the original Teen Titans cartoon.
I love
But
it.
this is at the height of like Gundam Wing. So take Gundam Wing, go all the way back, and I had to shotgun all of it.
Oh, wow.
So Gundam is kind of like Star Trek in Japan. In which it has had so many iterations. And it starts with the 70s animation.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's why they made the 08 MS team, so they could do original Gundam stories in decent animation styles.
Yep. Yes, Teen Titans Go was a disaster.
Not to cut you off, but here's a good question.
Oh, Chibi Wolverine.
So, Teen Titans Go Wolverine.
Depending on how it was done,
Yeah.
it would go a multitude of ways. Because it also depends on the tone shift of the show in itself. So if you have a Teen Titans Go show, you're going to have really cartoony blood and stuff like that. It's going to be funny. It's going to be ha-ha. I've seen Teen Titans Go because of TikTok, not because I wanted to watch it. My kids didn't want to watch it either. I hate the fact that it added so much lore that we never got from the original Teen Titans.
I would say Chibi Wolverine, there was a show called The Superhero Squad that was a kid's show. There was a Chibi Wolverine in it.
Really?
I can't, unfortunately, post to the chat because I'm connected through Facebook and Facebook is being weird with that. But yes, I am looking at the picture right now. There is a Chibi Wolverine. It is amazing. So that would be the Wolverine. He does not have facial hair either,
And he's smiling.
which is
so bad.
yeah, it's
I
strange.
feel like I had at one point a T-shirt that had like a Chibi Wolverine on it. And it was the Black Widow one. It had a little Chibi Black Widow, and it said "Stand back, boys, I've got this." And it had a bunch of the like male Marvel Chibi characters like behind her. I think Wolverine was one of them. He was pretty cute, honestly.
Actually,
So we're
Leia,
talking
I know you
about-
played this. Avengers Academy.
Yes.
That would have been a great. Yes.
Mm.
Oh, I
There you
love it.
go.
I love it. Let him do whatever he wants. He's too cute.
That looks like it's straight out of. That looks like it's
The
straight out of
Predators versus
Buffalo and
Chibi
Leopard.
Wolverine
Here you go, Chris. I just
would
wow.
be hilarious.
The
Just for the
Predator.
sheer fact of like we didn't we like what it like it's like okay so you're fighting somebody that's the size of a baby. I don't like you are like what 7 feet tall. How are you having a problem at all?
Just drop kick him, man.
just pull a Batman. Just pull an Ultimate Batman and pick him up and drop kick him. Have you guys seen that comic? Please tell me you saw that.
We have not.
No,
You
unfortunately,
have
but now I
got
want
to-
to.
There it is. There's the Superhero Squad Wolverine.
Oh man.
I shared it with Chris, but I gotta try to find it.
Yeah.
The
So-
comic of Ultimate Batman picking up a kid, quote unquote, villain and drop kicking, yeeting him off the building. It's not even drop kicking. He's on a building,
Yeah.
drop kicking this kid.
Right. So, when you say cute and pointy, are you talking about a hedgehog? Are you fighting a hedgehog and losing right now?
Sonic, no.
Oh, to bring it back to villain support, I love it. Is
Yeah.
it blue?
No, it seems to be in a
It's
good
not
mood.
blue, but there's like yellow and some black.
And this is where I love that this segue because I get to say this. There are a lot of suggestions that we'd absolutely love to do in existing series, even. But because we don't use voice actors for some of our series, it becomes almost impossible. Like the Constantine series is already a very in-depth series just with how it's created. It's created with the audience live. We create it. There's a bit of storyline to it that me and Chris have to go over. But outside of that, every video is made with the audience. The jokes are made with the audience input. I'll change the jokes or I'll come up with something thanks to the audience, or I'll straight up take the audience jokes. The latest one, there's text across the screen. Half of that text is literally the audience. It was comments directly imported from the audience as I was editing it.
I love it.
And there's been plenty of people who go like, well, Constantine versus this guy, it'd be a sass battle. And it's like the problem with that type of battle is without either A, Chris on the other side doing the thing that we did with Palpatine, it becomes really difficult to be able to drive point like what is being said by the other side. And
It's
you can't
really tough.
do that.
Yeah.
It's really tough to respond to words you're not hearing without having them said when it is that back and forth type thing.
So
when you're
I
doing the
don't know if
Predators, go
I
ahead.
don't
Sorry.
know if this has been asked on your casts before. Do you write out the other side?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Like the
'Cause that's
Palpatine
what I would
Constantine versus Palpatine
Yeah.
where Chris
So,
was in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's three kinds of videos that we do: fully scripted, fully voice acted. Sometimes if it's just Levi, me, and Nappa doing shit, it's scripted. Or if we got someone voicing Thanos or whatever, yeah, it's scripted out. 2 is a scripted sketch where you don't hear the villain's voice, but we still have his words in there, so we can figure out what we need to be saying to make it make sense. But there's also a lot of stuff we do, not so much now as we used to. When we started, everything I did was improvised for like the first 2.5 years. I didn't use
remember.
scripts. Everything was improvised, which meant some of it really sucked. But we still do a couple of those, and there are times you look back at it like, ooh, yeah, I should have said that differently, but I can't go back and change it now.
Yeah. And the benefit of there's a huge benefit and a huge weakness with doing the videos with improv. The benefit is you get something that is by far you just can't create any other way.
Right. I agree.
Right. And the Toph versus the Daleks was improv video. And without realizing it, because I'm talking to somebody who's basically the Daredevil of I totally spaced because he was doing something. The Daredevil of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Talking to a child. Come say hi if you want.
I said, "What is the color?" And after asking about the feet, right? And then I paused and I kept going. And I didn't realize this until the video was edited, posted. Like I completely spaced entirely. And so that gets on there, and people were like, "Did you really ask what the feet and color looks like?" Blah blah blah. They called it out. But a lot of other people mentioned, even before I mentioned about it, I was like, well, this is tough. Probably the reason why he stopped is because he did the blind joke. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking of that on purpose. So we got feedback from that, and we were going to post essentially an entirely new one. But
God damn it, dogs! Take me out of here.
Hey, at least we're at 39 minutes.
No. Close the door, Kate.
We'll wait for Chris to.
Not-related incident.
Well, hold up.
I just want to say,
continue the discussion.
My dog,
Make sure
my
he's all
dog is
good and
being
all right and
great.
everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm in a dedicated space. That's the benefit of mine.
oh, my dog just doesn't bark.
Is
Uh,
I don't know if he's okay or not. And I took him off the screen. Chris, I took you off because I didn't know what was going on.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Dogs decided to fight over something stupid.
But anyways, we scripted out a whole new video from start to finish. But then people liked the video. More people liked it than hated it. And I was like, I don't think and it's been a long enough time because we got busy that we can't go back and redo this. So we have remade skits that we were like, oh God, that's so horrible. We got to remake that. And then we have skits that
Kate,
turned into
leave your ass in here.
storylines that we then scripted out later on, blah, 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 that we look at and we're like, we can't remake it without, and we'll wait for Chris here, because we've discussed remaking Deadpool series. We've discussed remaking Samara series. And the issue that we keep coming back to, can we make it good enough, better enough,
Right.
increase the quality enough that it is worth remaking? And currently we cannot. The most that we could do, in all honesty, the Deadpool series we could probably remake, and all that one we could probably remake, redesign it and everything. The Samara we couldn't, because at the point that we got to the Samara Chronicles, we were already much better at what we were doing. Now the Deadpool series was right when we first started. That one could be remade with a good enough quality now that I feel like it would benefit from it, but it would benefit from it much more if we had cosplayers or other sides, if we had the whole song written out for the Deadpool thing, voice actors, all that stuff.
At least the voice would make it a lot better. And we've got a couple people that can do really good Deadpool voices. The one struggle that I have.
Are you bleeding? By the way, you keep looking at you.
No. I got nicked by a tooth and it's just red.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not bleeding.
I just want to make sure because you kept looking.
Because it hurts. But so we've got a couple different guys who can do really good Deadpool voices. The struggles that I have with them are, one, unless one of us records the lines with the speed and the intonation that we want, we don't get it back that way.
Mm-hmm.
If we want Deadpool to be saying, "No, John, I'm not going to do that," but we just give them the line, "No, John, I'm not going to," we get, "No, John, I'm not going to do that," and I'm like, that doesn't fit the tone. It needs to be exactly this way. And so one of our voice actors, the guy we use the most, is great at voices. He's from Texas, and his voice in general is he's just got a slower cadence.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks at this pace. And when he does Thanos, and it's John and Thanos like arguing back and forth, I want Thanos to be like, no, like that. And I've had to go back to him and be like, I want you to say it at this speed and this way. This isn't calm, Thanos. This is pissed off, angry. I want to kill you, John, Thanos.
With Deadpool, there's a little bit more leniency for one of our voice actors. Jossam, we use, he's really good. And he's really good at improvising the voice. He's had a lot of experience doing Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, to be specific. Right? Mm-hmm. And what I have learned with him when he does the Deadpool voice is I can have the script there. If I want a specific line said and not improv afterwards, I'll say, please say it like this. And I want this type of here. I want it said kind of like this. And then go ahead and give me whatever improv line you want. The rest of it, though, I'll tell him, I was like, give me an improv line and like read the script how you think Ryan would act and everything like that. There's a lot of, like with Deadpool, there's a lot more leniency on some of the way that you react with Deadpool. But also there's specific things that have to be said. And it's when we need something to be specifically said that it's challenging. Because you have to, like in the Stitch series. Have you guys seen the Stitch series yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It was recommended to me actually on the chat.
So the Stitch series,
I tend to go more towards the comic book related content.
You'll like the Stitch series. The Stitch series was an experiment that I decided to run. I ran it by Chris first. I was like, I want to do a fully voice acted series. If it does well, great. If it doesn't, I'll just stop. And it did phenomenal. It takes a long time to put out, but every single video hits consistently thousands or hundreds, actually hundreds of thousands of views. Every single video has hit hundreds of thousands of views, even though they're months apart. Popo is a huge voice actor in the 40K version, in the entire series. He's a huge voice actor for us. In the 40K stuff, we had to create voices from scratch. That was difficult, but at the same time, I was like, here's how I want this voice to sound. And I did Dante's voice, and I was like, I want it to be like this. I gave him the voice, and I told him, I was like, I like the way my voice sounds. I just wish it was deeper. And so the first edit I got of it, I showed a friend of mine who was deep into 40K, and he was like, I love that. And he gave me feedback, which was, I just wish it sounded more like he was in the middle of battle, considering it sounds like he's supposed to be. So that's the feedback I gave him. We got it back, and that's what it came with. And when we made Slaanesh, I think it was Slaanesh. Yeah, Slaanesh. I had him send me 2 voices. One was Gilbert Gottfried, and I don't remember the other one. And then I overlaid and created the voice. And now that voice was created because the creator or writers that make 40K said, I kind of think that they would sound like a combination of Gilbert Gottfried and this. I was like, I'm going to use that. I know somebody who can do both those voices. And so that's how that voice came. And the last voice was the Chaos God that Chris spoke with the most. Gosh, I can't remember his name. Chris, do you know who it was at the final one? Wasn't Celeste, it was Zeech.
You are still muted.
Zeech, Tzeentch.
Yeah. And that voice, there was no reference.
I'm going to sing it for you.
Whatsoever. Dante's a space marine. Needs to be commanding and sound commanding and everything. Zeech, there was no reference for it. So me and Popo went back and forth trying to figure out a voice. And I heard his voice, and I was like, you know what would be funny is if we made him sound like Segarath from Oblivion and whatnot. And so he was like, I can do that. But it needs to be not the exact copy. So what we got was Papa Popo's voice, his natural speaking voice, mixed with Setheroth. I'm mispronouncing the name right now. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then what I do when I go to record, and I don't know if Chris does this. What I do is I'll say my lines. I'll go into my editor. I'll have all my audio clips. And so I'll say my lines and then move my audio. Say my line, move my audio. And then I'll do the whole thing without recording to make sure I get everything lined up for anything that my brain decides to change up, because I still do improv a little bit here and there. So does Chris. So if I change something,
so do I.
The way I said that, but this is said too quickly. And then I'll run it. Then I'll do a final record. This way I can hear the voice as it's going on, but I just have it low enough that my mics don't capture it. And then I can react in any way I want. But if I do too much or drag it out, I automatically know it because the voice is played for too long.
Yeah. I will sometimes wear these headphones that I've got in, and I will turn this way and have my headset on so you can't see it. And I will have it all spaced out on CapCut with my original lines, and I will listen to it and see how much of my lines feel rushed. I know how long I need to wait. And so then I'll give myself notes on the screen and say, this line, wait 8 seconds. And I'll be like, and react this way. So I'll be like, you're fighting who? And then I'm counting 1, 2, 3 while making this face. Like reacting that way.
That's
and
very
that's
so you make it look
helped a
very
lot.
seamless.
Right. Well, on a
different methods for that too.
From a podcast perspective, though, so you're getting these voices recorded. what do you do? Do you do anything in the post?
I do. It does.
Recording
It
process?
does depend on
Okay.
the voice. So the biggest problem that you have with audio video, right?
Mhm.
Audio to video
Is
lining
syncing.
things up.
Yeah.
The way I found the easiest was I picked up a tip from somebody who was editing, and that is so I could see the audio.
Mhm.
And Popo, as of recently, he's forgotten to do it a few times, but usually he'll snap for me. So I have a clear line of like, that's that take. And so when I talk to somebody who's doing new voices for us, I try to remind him, please do that. That makes my life 1,000 times easier when it's in between takes. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then you'll have a stream. What's the hardest part?
Yeah.
Chris is guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. Is you'll have a stream of just nonstop talking. And it's like, I can't use this take at all because the part that's good, I can't edit this out. Like I can't edit and I decided to go and to these, I can't edit that one thing because they don't stop.
Sure.
Yeah.
But some of that, I mean, you can change things like pitch or you know, I mean, Audible or Audacity can make an amazing Vader voice with just a couple of clicks.
We did that. So Levi, you may not know this. Before villain support was a thing, Josh and I were talking about making it into a podcast.
Yeah. And
the first episode was the idea that I had was Vader calling in about the Death Star blowing up. And this is 4 or 5 years old now of a Vader-ish voice. Hey, Charles Winthrop, going, it fucking blew up, John. It fucking blew up. What am I supposed to do? And we had a ton of fun with it.
Yeah.
And then Josh was just like, I just don't have time for this project. I'm sorry.
I wish I did.
Hold on 1 second.
Looking back on it, I wish I did, but
the biggest problem I have with just editing, like you said, Josh, just editing that so the voice will sound like it. And it's something that me and Chris have both run into. We have found it sounds so much better if you get somebody that can get close as possible to what you want and then edit it afterwards, because then you don't have those parts that are just completely fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing that we'll do, and this is where Levi and I will say to each other, hey, I need one line from you and like 8 seconds of reactions, because I'll realize that there needs to be a bigger gap in what I said, but I don't want to redo it because my take was really, really, really good. And so it'll be me saying it and Levi saying his line, and then me saying a little bit more of what I was saying, and then him reacting, and then me finishing my line, half of it when he's on screen reacting, and then back to me so I can extend that take out. Napa has more often than not just simply existed as a tool to fix the audio.
No, that's brilliant. So in the first season, back in 2017 is when we started Graphically Novel. Forever ago.
See, I was gonna say, maybe.
Our first show was basically if there was a movie or TV show or something coming out based on a comic, we explained the comic or at least told you where to go. All of that's now on archive.org because it's a project that kind of has fallen to the wayside. But I was originally going through and editing out every and the first season was wrecked due to that.
I am sorry. I have apologized.
No, I didn't do it for RetConversations.
No, I know.
I didn't do it for you.
I was a guest there, so
right.
I definitely did a lot of it.
But I found more creative ways, to kind of work in that stuff, because what I ended up finding out is the ums and the ahs are actually more organic, and they bring people in. As long as they're not too see, I'm doing it now. As long as they're not too obvious. But what I do now is I've taught Leia and Jen and people that are on, and I think I told it to you, what I tell them to do now is, if you're trying to reach for a word, what you know, all of those things are there fillers that your brain is just having your mouth say while you're looking for something. Teach yourself to just do silence, because there is a wonderful tool in Audacity called truncate silence. And what that does is, while we're sitting here and we're trying to figure out what we want to say, if we just stop talking, all of a sudden, if we just stop talking, is what comes in the end product. I imagine that in video and things like that, that technology will come up at some point, or at least in the editing process. Just doing silence or freezing.
Yeah.
And
somebody
then
explained, I missed it because I was dealing with family issues.
No, that's all right. We're
good.
talking about editing, and when you're in the middle of something in audio, there are tools to get rid of the ums, the ahs, the you knows. But what we taught ourselves is instead we're silent. And I imagine on video, if you could teach yourself to, in the middle of something, it'll, if you're doing it live, it'll look like you're frozen. Like, I'm sure it just looked like I was frozen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be frozen because I'm showing it to Levi. But if I were to start thinking of a word, if I can teach myself to do that, I can go in the editing process and take that whole thing out. And it sounds like I knew exactly what I was talking about.
So the problem with video, and this is a thing that they do have in CapCut and DaVinci and everything, you can actually cut out the
filler words and stuff like that. Yeah.
The problem is it doesn't work when you have video.
Yeah.
Because you go like this.
Right. And that's what I was saying is, instead of those words, if you can somehow train yourself to just freeze.
It doesn't. It's still okay. So this is a good video editing tip for you.
Sure.
Everything is always moving.
Mm.
That is something you have to remember when you are filming. Go ahead.
Well, finish. I have a thing to say afterwards. So,
as an editor, film and everything is always moving, unless everything is taped down. If you wanted to get more specific for the more professional stuff. So, like, let's say you needed to think of a word, and this was improv, and you needed to go on, and you wanted to stop. You have to be frozen, but here's the thing: you are still moving. You're gonna have, even if it's slight, you're gonna have that there, and that will take away somebody's attention. Somebody will be like, "That's weird." Instead of them focusing on the video, they're now focusing on when is that going to happen again.
The only way it works is if you're recording. And like you're saying, Josh, I can imagine if I'm talking to so-and-so and I'm trying to think of the next line and I just do this.
Right.
And like, then
get yourself into a position.
I go back to the line and I do this and I come out of it. I can edit out, I can try to, those seconds where I'm not moving. The one issue is it's super hard to actually hold completely still.
Right.
Like my finger might be doing this. And a lot of people won't notice that they cut, but what we don't want to do, we never wanted to do, was have our videos look like those explainer videos where it's like, today we're going to talk about how to type on a keyboard. And then you see the cut and he's like, keyboard. And like, you're watching the explainer video and you don't care. But when you're watching a story, it's like, is this dude like glitching? Like,
right.
And that happens. There's people who do that. People who utilize the spaces in between talking to somebody to cut their videos down. And I'm not a fan of it. I don't like that type of storytelling. There's a guy who has, I think, going on 1 million followers now, that does the dad who survived young adult fiction or whatever it is. And he's got some really funny content. I absolutely hate his style of videos.
Is he the guy that does just like a bunch of random one-liners and then it's just cut from one to one to one to one?
Yeah. The dragon did this, but he responds to a conversation without there being time for a conversation to happen. And a lot of people watch it because they don't have to think about it. They just listen to the funny little gag, and then they'll, after the video is over, then they'll discuss what could have been said and everything. But the thing I've noticed between our videos and his is people enjoy our videos more because it feels more realistic.
Sure. No, we get that a little bit with our more, I will say that our neurospicy audience, that's usually like a neurotypical person usually will be more forgiving on that, but we try to cater to our neurospicy audience. And so like I'm and one of the reasons I'm very happy that you were like, oh no, I listen for 10 minutes and I don't listen to podcasts, is because I have, over the last almost 10 years, tried to get that down to a science. I want to get it down to where you're not going to hear those cuts, where you're not going to hear those things. And I imagine in the world of video, there's a reason I do podcast editing for other podcasts and other people. And I have told people I cannot do video. Video, I know I'm not going to get to the level, that you guys have gotten to, or that other professional video editors have gotten to. Audio's hard enough.
I have recently learned, just recently, because I wouldn't have bothered to look at the reality of what people are actually paying other people for video editing. That I do way more stuff, and I'm qualified to probably get paid for than I realized. There's people that do editing, and it's like they didn't add any captions, they didn't do anything except cut a few seconds here and a few seconds here. Everything else is there, and maybe cut the middle, and that's all they did. They spend, maybe if you get good enough, the time it took to watch the video.
Yeah,
however long that may be.
When I started Villain Support, my editing process was I need to cut out the bit of me pulling my finger away from the camera.
Yep.
That was all I did. That was all that I did. That was the only
I used
edit.
to have a slate. I printed a slate off.
I remember that.
Recording. Now I'll do 3, 2, 1, or I'll do a physical shift into what I'm doing. I'll breathe, I'll think, and move forward. And that's regardless of if I'm doing a line or something else. Most notably, Chris needed some stuff done for April Fools. And most recently, not most notably.
Did you guys see the April Fools video?
Not yet. No.
Let's watch that, and I'll tell you.
I'm going to pull that up right now. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
We got called out for being mean to Napa because he wouldn't know it, because we didn't include the fact that he should have read the paperwork.
All right, 1 second here.
I love when people are like, you're mean to Napa. Like, he does not actually exist.
We don't say that. And it's like people who think I'm hero support, but I'm member solutions.
Yeah.
And that's a really good joke, but we can't say the other one.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna mute my microphone so you don't get double deal here. Just 1 second.
Okay. All right.
I forgot to share the sound on the tab.
There
we go. Okay, Napa, let's get this over with. Get what over with? Today's your last day. Pack your desk. What? You're being let go. What?
You really have to ask.
John, I don't believe this. Who are you replacing me with? One of your clones? We found someone else. They're smarter than you, stronger than you, more capable than you, more experienced than you. How do they have more experience? Nobody else does this.
An outside hire from an alternate reality villain support office.
You mean like the one I got sucked into at the end of the All for Kerbu incident? Yes. Wait. Are you hiring that other me? No, somebody else. Who? I demand to know who you're replacing me with.
Their name is April.
April who? April Fools. I'm looking them up on LinkedIn right now. I'm not finding this April Fools person.
Never.
What? Fools. April Fools. Why are you repeating the name? Is April French or something? Are there a bunch of X's in their last name that am I spelling it wrong? Napa, do you know what April Fools is? What April Fools is? Are you replacing me with a robot?
Napa, today is April Fool's Day.
April doesn't even work here yet, and they have a day named after them. Napa, it's just a prank, a joke. Well, I hope April finds it hilarious. Okay, Napa.
I love it.
We just leaned so hard in on Napa does not know what April Fool's Day is.
Magnificent.
I will say I probably have watched more Dragon Ball Z content through villain support than I've actually watched Dragon Ball Z like episodes. Because like my brother was huge into it. I was just a little older for it. And all I saw was, oh my God, they're still fighting. Tune in next week for staring and yelling.
And I think that's awesome. First of all, we've heard that a lot. Like people have started an entire series, whether they be books, TV, anime, whatever it is, specifically so they could understand the jokes.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I went to a Dresden Files LARP in Denver a few weeks ago, and talked about how there were Harry Dresden videos from villain support. So hopefully you guys got a few more views.
Cool.
we were watching some of that stuff and with just a bunch of nerds. But I love that you guys do different genres so that like anybody that's in whatever different like Dungeon Crawler Carl, I'm sure will be a thing eventually.
I just heard about that yesterday at a
I'm on the third book.
Dinner.
It's so good.
I started with the Samara ones because I'm a big fan of Japanese horror, so that was
nice.
It spoke to me.
There's a book series called Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, so what it is aliens take over Earth, but they're really just biting us for our resources because they really started and actually put life on the Earth. But anyone surviving that goes underground ends up in what can be what I believe they conceptualize as a 15-level dungeon that is basically D&D. But it is also kind of like the Running Man, where it is transmitted across the universe. So you get like loot boxes and you get viewers and you get sponsors and stuff like that. I am on the third book. It is insane and wonderful.
So it's D&D Hunger Games.
Yes. Yes.
That's got to be a joke if you do the video.
The audiobooks, the first one, they're kind of finding their ground, but the second one on is like a full like audio. They're doing different sound effects and stuff like that. So it's great.
That's awesome. So Josh, I'm just going to bring this conversation off of Facebook Messenger and into the stream. So Levi, Josh wrote, I am 100% willing to do voices for you, by the way.
Yes.
And I replied, what voices can you do? And I'll let Josh tell me what he responded with.
Oh my God. Okay, so hold on. Now I got to remember what I said to you.
You wrote. You
I could do. I do a lot, but I like Walken, Schwarzenegger, various races, English, Scottish, Irish, etc.
You also did a pretty damn good DBZ announcer just a few minutes ago, and I love the line of
Yeah.
Tune in next week for more staring and yelling.
There you go. Yeah,
It's true.
You can come in.
That's pretty much what I just said.
Josh.
But so my buddy Sean and I used to live in Los Angeles, and one of our favorite games, because we were both improvers. Hey,
How's the whole crew? Hey guys. Hey Josh.
he is
Jen's hiding. Jen's back there too, and Leia.
And Leia. Hi Leia.
Hello.
but my friend Sean used to come from work, and we had a game called Christopher Walken As. And so he walked in one day, he's just burned out. He's like, Christopher Walken is Cinderella. And I was like, hey, godmother, I've been cleaning all day. I'm trying to just get what's going on. There's these chemicals in the air. Rats talking to me.
You've got the cadence down very, very well, the way he speaks.
The one that I have to work on is when he goes low. I got to figure out because this is normal, but every once in a while he gets serious and he wants to get down here.
I can do an okay walking, and I love doing the whispers.
The whispers. Yeah.
I feel like, and this is
Oh,
for
you mean
everyone
like
in
the
the
Continental?
comment section,
Yes.
everyone watching. Christopher's one of those voices that if you can get his cadence down, you can almost guarantee to do his voice. And it's not to say, and this is a thing, is like getting the cadence down is a good bit of work. That's not to dissuade or to lower anybody's quality of impression.
Right.
Josh has a good impression. Chris has a relatively good impression as well. The moment you get the cadence down is the moment that you know you can do the voice, and then you just have to practice it until you have it. Now, I have not practiced Christopher's voice at all. It's not one that I ever felt the need to try.
Jay Moore probably, if you can find videos of him doing it, does the best Christopher Walken outside of Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Because he has this whole thing about them doing Suicide Kings, and they used to ask each other stupid questions, and somebody said, hey, Chris, if you could fly or have a tail, which would you want? And he's like, oh, a tail. So, like, I would come in, and people would be like, hey, have you seen Chris's tail today? Don't mess with him. Like, Christopher, oh, no.
So,
okay.
This was an impression. You remember Todd Gutnick from so he
was in Comics in Action with me.
Was in action with us, which was an improv troupe that I was in Iowa
with me
15 years ago. Yeah. But he did an incredible Christopher Walken, and I showed him a meme once that just had this line on it, and he goes, I think Christopher Walken would be the best voice for that. And I'm like, do it. And he did it. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten out of my head, which is, know, Goldilocks and I had been dating for some time, but it was easier to let my parents maul her than to explain what she was doing in my bed.
Goldilocks and I have been dating for some time, but it was easier to let my parents maul her than to explain what she was doing in my bed. Yeah, that's the whisper. You got it. Okay, so hold on. Colleen on the chat asked for part of your world. So I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. Running around on those, what do you call them? Feet. Like it's you gotta, it's the last word. Like if you've ever seen, there's a movie called The Rundown that almost nobody has watched.
When he does
where he talks about
fairy thing.
the tooth fairy. He's like, I feel like a child, and the tooth fairy has come in the middle of the night and stolen my tooth. But he's talking to people like in Brazil, so they speak Portuguese, and he's talking through a translation. He's like, do they understand the concept of the tooth fairy? Explain it to them. like,
do you remember
peak walking?
Yeah. Do you know who Brendan Mahoney is in Cedar Rapids?
I've heard the name.
You guys may have met. Like, he and I were watching that together the first time, and we're watching that, and that came on. And we both were kind of like,
"It's the greatest villain."
And then the speech ends, and he walks away, and we were like, "Why? That was awesome, but why was that in the movie?"
Right? Yeah, because he finishes it with like explain it to them. And like he starts to go off in Portuguese, and he just goes, you put your tooth under the pillow, the fairy takes it anyway.
And then he leaves, and the scene ends, and it's like, this scene did not move the story forward in any way, shape, or form.
Right. It's his entire role in Pool Hall Junkies, which is kind of the Rounders for pool. It was an indie film that just some people watch, but it looks like when Walken walks into that movie, it's, they're doing a movie. I think I'll be in it. He just walks onto scene.
I feel like when they were making the rundown, they were like, and there's got to be a boss of the bad guys. And someone goes, Christopher Walken, yes. And it's just like,
there we go.
And they're like, but he's not a character. He's just Christopher Walken, but he's the boss of the bad guys.
And in the middle of it, we'll have Kino from Ninja Turtles 2 fight The Rock.
Yes. Ernie Reyes Jr. Levi, you have something to say? I can tell. Say
it. Josh, do you see? Are you able to look at the private chat?
I am looking at it. I just can't respond to it.
Okay, in the private chat, do the Christopher Walken voice with that quote.
Okay. There is no John out there. No happy man with a normal life. There is only John Wick, the killer.
I absolutely love the idea of just replacing. I think it would be just
replacing people with Christopher Walken with no explanation.
Yes, please do this.
God, we could do a whole series of videos where, like, what if when we've never done.
Leo spits without listening. Without listening to Hogfather again. This is as close as I can get to death.
We've never done the Predator's voices, but now I want them to sound
Predator is Christopher Walken.
Perfect.
Yes!
Perfect. No notes. Let's do this.
Maybe that's why John, whenever he's talking to him, is like, what do you want now?
Click, 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 click. You know what? I'm just going to talk now. This translator isn't doing anything.
That could be the video. Napa goes, John, why did you learn the Predator language? Just use the translator. And I go, Napa? No. Why did you make us all learn the Predator language? Can't we just use the translator? We can. Why don't we? Have you heard what they sound like in English? And press play, and it's just Christopher Walken talking.
Have you seen the trailer for my new animated movie? By the way, that dropped today. There is a new Predator movie coming out, and it is all animated. It is Predator throughout history taking people out.
All right, you have my attention.
Where can I watch that?
YouTube. We just saw it earlier tonight. So let's see. Walken is Captain Hook. Oh, God. Okay. I'm trying to remember the good lines from Hook.
Predator, killer of killers?
Yes, that is the one. And it is all animated. It's by the director that did Prey.
I'll take a look at it.
Really?
Chris, it would be really funny to have that interaction, hear the voice, and then have Nappa go like, "Who made the translator?" And John just slowly turns to Levi, and Levi goes, "What?" Nappa goes, "Why did you make Christopher Walken the voice?" So I was like, "Well, if you had to listen to him all day, you'd like a good laugh too."
Or you do this. Hey, I was asked to make a decision, so I made a decision.
Oh yeah, I like that better. Nappa could be like, "But why, Christopher Walken?" And that could be the button mark right there.
Okay. Finally, I'm going to kill Peter Pan, that cocky boy who cut off my hand and fed it to the crocodile. And who killed that cunning crocodile? Who stuffed him? Who made him into a quiet clock? Who went into the other world and stole Pan's children? And who didn't believe I could do it? Who doubted me? Who amongst us does not belong? Someone here does not belong. Stranger amongst the loyal, I will weed you out. There you go. There's your Captain Hook walking.
This clock. I carried this clock in my. No.
I carried this clock in my ass. And I put it in this crocodile.
That movie is called Hook Fiction.
That's right. Oh my God. Okay, so what Nappa did is he took the not Garmin. What was the TomTom?
Yes.
The old GPS that used to have celebrity voices.
Yes.
So he used the TomTom as the translator, and it got stuck on Walken.
I think there was an actual voice available for it too, if I remember.
I know
correctly.
Samuel L. Jackson was because
Yes.
I listened to him yell at me.
What is TomTom?
Take a left, mother.
Do you not remember TomTom, Levi?
I don't know what that is.
It was like a GPS
It was an ancient
before
GPS.
Before this was a GPS, you
Right.
had it in your car, and the whole commercial was a guy going, "Susu, where do I go?" And she was just like, he's like, "Susu, what do I do?" And the commercial was like, "It's not Susu, talk to TomTom." And that was it was a Garmin.
Yeah,
there was like a squirrel voice that sounded like the squirrel was on cocaine. It sounded like
Bill
phony.
Clinton.
I can't remember. Like
Bill Clinton.
there was somebody
Schwarzenegger.
who, yeah. There was.
Okay,
I
now I'm
can't
going to look up
remember
what all the
exactly
TomTom voices were.
There was somebody who was. I was like, I want to say it was like Snoop Dogg or something like that. Like I wanted to buy one specifically for that purpose.
Take a left to shizzle your nizzle.
I don't really want to make Nappa in this case. I don't mind making Nappa the butt of the joke quite often. But it's also one of those things where we need John and Levi to be responsible for stuff too periodically.
Yeah.
Just as a way to be like, they're not infallible, right? Like they screw up. And I love the idea of Levi choosing the voice and just never fixing it because there was never a need to fix it.
Right.
Like Levi hates work. Like Levi hates paperwork. Canonically, I have it in there that I hate paperwork. And the reason why is because Levi has effectively has gotten trapped in the past before and had to redo a bunch of stuff. So he's had to essentially do like double, triple the paperwork before technology advanced fast enough. So canonically, he hates it. It would be hilarious if this is just simply a paperwork situation where he's like, I didn't want to do the paperwork to change it back.
Right? That's fantastic.
It's like, it doesn't affect me. It works.
Apparently,
not broken. It's not broken. I'm not fixing it.
Apparently, there was a John Cleese voice for TomTom. And when it said you must bear to the right, it immediately followed by beaver to the left.
I love that response. I lost the manual to the translator.
Bert and Ernie were a voice. I would Oh, Leia, there was a Homer Simpson voice.
That's probably what it was, honestly. Actually, I just wanted
Yep,
Homer to.
you absolutely 100% had the Homer Simpson
That
voice.
is 100%.
Can we turn right, Bert? Can we turn
Yep.
right, Bert? Yes, Ernie. Are you sure? Yes, Ernie.
So Chris, I love that idea of making the Predator's voice, the actual translator voice. I love that as
Yeah.
a skit. We need to do that.
That's fantastic.
Levi
yeah.
has to be the reason why it sounds like Christopher Walken. I love the idea that I'm responsible for it. And that like now I love the button being like, but why? And just let that be the end of it. We don't need to explain that it's just because Levi's too lazy and doesn't want to fix it.
I love it. No, that's fantastic. That's comedy gold right there. Oh my God. What else was on? Oh, Darth Vader was a voice on Tom Tom. Okay. I'll go with that.
Turn left. 3 feet ago.
I like, well, yeah, and in that case, it would be the Grover voice. Your turn is near, and then you pass it, and it goes, your turn is far.
Levi got mad at it and threw it. I love the idea that Levi purposely, and this is just me. I love the idea that Levi purposely chose it as a way to laugh at it, and then just never changed it back because he couldn't be bothered to remember how.
Right. Absolutely. No, that's perfect.
I'm writing the sketch right now.
No, we were talking about a variety of topics. Gotta love ADHD. To swing back on a couple topics, the April Fool's video. The reason why there's more footage of me like looking and turning and doing all that stuff. Because Chris was like that was such a last minute sketch because we were having trouble figuring out what to do for an April Fool's sketch that wasn't too real because there's honestly a lot of bad crap going on. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't want to. The original idea was, what if Levi and Chris, what if we broke up, type of video? And I was like, well, we kind of did that last year with the thing with villain support not being a big deal,
right?
Or not being a big deal, not being a thing anymore. And the only way to do that video would be to start it out with such sincerity that I don't think it would go over well. Like, you would get to the joke and there'd be a lot of people upset, especially after the fact we just did a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I did. So 2 years ago, I did a video saying that we'd gotten a cease and desist from Warner Brothers about the name Acme. Last year, I did one with John just being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. And then Napa yelling at him and shoving him back into his seat. But I had people.
I remember that one.
I had people both ears being like, you can't do that. You scared me.
And this year was one of those things where it's like, and unlike previous year, we didn't know that there was a lot of people who were actually quitting like right before April Fool's and afterwards. And there were people who saw the video after April 1st. And so I was like, we can't have that happen again because there's legitimately, we caused panic attacks on people and that's not good.
Right. Yeah.
And then Chris wanted to do something that was grounded in reality. Oh, okay.
Oh my
Josh,
God.
Your line is the voicemail.
John,
and
what did you
I'll
think?
Do Napa.
Oh, okay. Do we want to go through the whole thing?
It's not a long script. It's super short.
Go for it.
John, with as many Predator calls as we get, why did we all have to learn their click language instead of just using the translator? They understand English when we speak it. Have you heard what they sound like in the translator? No, you never let me. Here, listen to this voicemail I got this morning. Click.
John, what did you think would happen if we hunted Thanos? How many blooded do you think we need? I have 43 right now.
They sound like Christopher Walken. They didn't have to, but yeah, that's how they sound. But why?
What? I was asked to make a decision. I made a decision.
But can't you?
No, my decision's final.
But
Final!
The creative process at work, everyone.
yeah.
Stupid crap that we think is funny.
It does well.
But you know what I've learned? A lot of other people think the stupid crap that we think is funny is funny.
Well, yes,
True.
I did. So we have a running joke on RetConversations about how I will do different. Okay, so I introduce Leia usually with 90s song lyrics. This has turned into at one point when we did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I happened to know all of the Ice Cube, Vanilla Ice Ninja Turtle rap from Ninja Turtles 2. And so I did the whole thing very quickly, the whole first verse and the chorus. That turned into I redid Regulators, which is Leia's favorite rap song for us. And then we are both wrestling fans. So this year I actually got a cameo from Harley Cameron of AEW to go through. I don't know what I'm going to do next. But
yeah, you kind of like boxed yourself in there a little bit. You backed yourself into a corner you couldn't get out of. You can't. I don't know if you can top that.
Right. And so but that's like the creative process with us is just stupid stuff like that we're like, we're a comic book podcast, but we're going to have this random wrestler come and do a cameo for us. Or I'm going to do a rap song.
We can do what we want.
With series, so when we first start, made us get Predators dealing with comic accurate Wolverine and not thinking we did that. We did that.
Comic accurate Wolverine is a pain in the butt because as long as one cell lives, he can regenerate.
Yeah,
that is canon.
And it's ridiculous because people on the Cell on the video where he's fighting Cell. And Chris and I had an argument over this, and this is the beauty of the relationship that we've because we can get angry at each other, walk away, and be like, okay, yeah. Like Chris says, he'll be like inside of his house, and it'll be the same thing. But Wolverine versus Cell, right, or Frieza, or anyone like that. Doesn't make sense because you would be able to eradicate him. But comic accurate Wolverine is so powerful. And a bunch of people were like, well, yeet him into space. And I was like, he survived. What? And I was like, yeah, he's actually survived being yeeted into space. Wolverine has survived being yeeted into the sun before. Has he needed to be brought out of the sun or be reborn on Krakoa or whatever it is? Yeah, but at the same time, he has lived. So there's an issue with the fact that how has it said? It's Wolverine is the healing factor. Correct? Is that's what they say for in the comic industry for
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dealing with those types of characters is always rough. We have an ongoing thing about Superman. We all in graphically novel RetConversations find Superman boring, and the reason is he's John Cena. He wins, right? Any great Justice League plot, the first step is how do you get rid of Superman so Superman's not there for the rest of the comic. And the one episode that we have lost, actually, Kyle Slack was on it from college days, and it was All-Star Superman.
It was All-Star Superman. Yep, it sure was.
Where the solution to Superman was somehow to give him more powers and make him immune to kryptonite, but he was going to die. He had some cancer that he was going to die. And we went through the whole thing. My hard drive legitimately died. But yeah, we found it as a blessing because it was just us for an hour and a half making fun of Superman.
And that's the thing with Superman too. Chris, I think you're muted, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah, there we go. That's the thing that we've discussed about Superman as well. I've done a video where Superman can't really die against Dr. Manhattan, and people called it out, and I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. And I was like, yeah, it does. Superman cannot die because and this is the thing in the comics is that Dr. Manhattan realizes that Superman is necessary for the world to exist.
Yes.
And when I heard that and how ridiculous that was, I was like, that is worse than Batman having plot armor. That is legit. Like, at least Batman has some type of like, I'm gonna get beat up, I might lose, I might die, I might get brought back. What with Superman? Wait, no, that's
the thing that people forget about Superman is he is vulnerable to magic. And that is usually my favorite. Like, John Constantine could F Superman up. I understand we're in an
more
hour
than 25 minutes. Drop the F-bomb.
I get it. Yeah. No, John Constantine would fuck Superman up. 100%.
well, I mean, yeah, we already know that he swings that way, but we mean
well, yeah, okay. No. He would also, but no, like in a straight on, like as long as Constantine knows he's coming, like that's not a conflict. There you go.
This entire conversation since that's
Levi's mind has fallen off the street and into the gutter.
I did that on purpose.
So Josh,
Yeah.
I'm not ending the stream. That's what I'm saying. This has been Josh and Leia. This has been super fun having you both on here.
It's been a
And I
blast.
had an idea because I'm having a blast doing this. Instead of you, and this is if you two can do it, or you, Josh, Jen, and Leia. I think did Jen leave?
Jen took off. Yeah, she's
Okay.
She's like, there are lots of chores to do.
Instead of you just sending us your conversations about it, would you be open to joining us on a monthly basis and going over what you found so that we can not only discuss them, but also spitball ideas for sketches live?
Ooh.
I mean, I know I can. I can't speak for Leia, who is a much more busy individual.
I think I could probably wrangle that. I could probably wrangle if it was once a month. I think I could pencil it in. Yeah.
There you go.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I think
It
our
would.
audience would look forward to, after we've done a couple of them, the audience would look forward to being like, we get to watch all these people just bounce ideas off each other and just have fun with stupid villain support
Sure.
sketch ideas.
That's fantastic. No, like I said, I'm glad that you invited us on to do this. This has
Yeah.
been a blast, and yeah, I can give a couple hours and a bottle of wine to to do this one. Oh, I'm glad that everybody in the audience seems to enjoy it as well. So
Aw.
We've had guests on from time to time, and some of them have been like, I mean, you and I, Josh and I, we've known each other for years.
so long.
We see each other, and it's
Too
just
long.
like 5 minutes has passed. We can just drop back into it. But we've had people on the stream with us that just personalities don't mesh, or they're kind of quiet, and they're like visibly bored, and it just makes it, people aren't saying this is fun, come back. They're more like, you can tell they're like, when is this person leaving?
So I love that idea. I love the idea of being able to shoot the shit, especially because like a good portion of this is the knowledge that Josh has and Leah has and Jen has within the comic community. I know hit and miss stuff of comics.
Sure.
Whether it be because I've read it or because I went and watched a video of the explanation of the comic that happened and everything like that. So, and my questions may not always sound like questions. I apologize about that. So being able to pick your guys' brain. Did you freeze, Josh?
Nope.
Oh,
He just went,
Josh was just busy
My
not
wife's
saying,
message. Yeah.
Josh was just very busy not saying
We'll say we will sell no wine until you pay for it.
Oh, hold on. Is there a DC hero that would get with Constantine? Zatanna has, and they do not like each other. They are exes. And it is actually one of my favorite Constantine. Like, every time he needs to go and find another magic user, like, somebody will bring up Zatanna. And they'll be like, and he'll be like, no, as a last resort only.
I've got to say this. It's Tyne, as in fine. You know that reference.
Constantine. Yes. Yep, I do. I'm
not in the movie, though. Not in the movie.
Or in the upcoming sequel.
Is that actually going to happen?
Yes.
Yep.
They've announced the Constantine sequel.
Are they going to title it John Madgwick?
Jen's not here, but I was going to show you guys the first Stitch video if you guys wanted to watch it real quick.
By all means, please
go for it.
Right. So let me present that. Share screen. Provided it wants to work. There it goes.
Oh no!
Member Solutions. This is Levi. Jumba, you know my personal extension is only for emergencies.
Oh, leave my mother out of this.
What? Jumba, what's going on?
No.
Blakely, why are you panicking? Will somebody answer the phone?
Gotcha, Levi.
Stitch, why are you answering the phone?
Miga nala Krista.
Oh, you little cur. You blue rat. You're not completely wrong, but like what? I get my hands on you. He just flew off, didn't he? Hello? Shit. Mr. Roshi, what the hell did you do?
Eh? Levi, what's wrong?
What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you kidding me? Like, I understood Bruce Wayne learning, but the little blue demon from hell? Do you know what you did?
Oh, the little blue guy. How can I not? He's got 4 arms. He can fire 2 Kamehamehas. It'd be impressive if it wasn't so terrifying.
Terrifying. That is experiment number 626 out of 629. Do you realize what's going to happen?
Oh my. Yeah, doesn't sound like it's my problem. Have a good day, Levi.
Roshi? I'm not cleaning up this mess! I am, in fact, being made to clean up this mess.
Oh, it's only gotten worse from there.
So, question. Does hero support handle... Okay, because obviously Stitch is a good guy. Is the Punisher technically hero support?
Okay, so to clarify, and I love the fact that it even says there, I say member solutions in that video.
Oh.
I love the fact that that's there. It's become a nice little joke. So, hi, I'm Levi, Member Solutions. Member Solutions provides a solution for all our members, and everyone's a member whether they know it or not. It's built around the fact that a regular call center is going to have a general customer support. It's going to have 1 or 2 specializing departments. And then inside of those departments, you might have 1 or 2 people that specialize further on in, right? Member Solutions is the extreme version of general customer support. We are where the company trains everyone. You go, hey, would you rather take a phone call? No? Okay. Well, Member Solutions also goes to build crew, and we build things. We invent things. We sell things. We do literally a little bit of everything in the company. And Levi is the head manager, project lead of all that, because that's his brain works like that. And he's lived for so long. That's just what he likes to do. It's the only way he can survive living as long as he has. So that's where that came about. So yes, Member Solutions would handle the Punisher. And depending on whether I felt like it or not, and this is more of a out of world thing, I might label it as hero, or I might label it as anti-hero or anti-villain, whatever I feel like labeling it at the time. I've noticed I piss people off if I label someone like the Punisher as hero. But if the call I'm taking falls more into the heroic than the anti-hero or anti-villain or everything, that's how I usually label it.
Love
and people will still be like, well, Frank Castle isn't really a hero. I'm like, but he's saving a child in this.
In this, yes. He has called the correct line. He has hit the right prompts that he has gotten to the hero line. I like it.
Right?
Have you guys done like a bit about what prompts you have to hit your way?
We haven't touched on it in a long time, but Deadpool used to be, he'd call into villain support, and I'm like, you've done too many good deeds recently. You're not in my system.
I did it for the Ghostbusters skit. This is one of those niche things. We do really good stuff together because we hit a lot of different demographics. I hit a lot of the more niche stuff. So my videos, it's really weird because if we look at just view count, some of my videos are terrible. But then you look at the length of time every viewer has watched it, and it's like, oh my God, that's 90% views out of 5,000. That's still really damn good. So
Levi, when you eventually get to Dungeon Crawler Carl, let me know, and I will workshop stuff with you because that is a niche, but it will be brilliant because pretty much the entire structure that you have come up with in this world is a level in Dungeon Crawler Carl.
The joke we have about hero support is that all hero support does is take phone calls from heroes like, I need a new costume, or I need some bricks fixed on my base. They have the easiest job and it's boring as hell, so no one wants to see those calls. And when heroes do call in with problems, hero support can't help them, so they go to Member Solutions.
Oh my God.
And there's gonna be we have skits semi-written out and ideas set for us to do more lore videos, and we are going to be doing those more and more. We kind of decided to have the lore be built by the audience. There was a really massive thing on TikTok that I was part of, and I was having fun with it, but it was also very, very dark. I was still, and I still am, healing from CPTSD. And so a good portion of that fell into that writing of that lore. And when we went to YouTube and we were having fun with it together and we're seeing people, how they reacted and making the lore together, I objectively had more fun doing that. And I was like, this isn't as serious. I didn't need to have all this drama. There needs to be a little bit of drama. That much is true. In order to make a really good story, you have to have a little bit of drama periodically. We wrote, as an example, and scrapped an entire skit for John's origin story where it involved last wish, cancer last wish survivor thing with they wanted to meet a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that came about. And we decided to scrap it because even though we wrote it out and Chris was like, I don't really like doing drama to begin with. And this is very heavy in it.
Right.
And I was like, yeah. And about 6 months after we wrote it, we're like, let's just scrap it. We can come up with a different origin story that's funnier, that is less heart on the feels and stuff. And I do have a drama skit I'll be posting to YouTube and Facebook. I can't post it to TikTok, sadly, because I posted it on my TikTok. So it can't exist there. Where Jason calls in asking for the truth about why he was ended. And I give him the truth without giving him the truth by giving him an in-universe reason. And the actual reason was because it was like a percentage chance somebody calling in, that kind of stuff, without saying that it was out of his world.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
I really loved how it was, because usually my drama videos, in all honesty, don't stay in the universe. They interact with the person, and people love them, and they're really good. This was one of the few videos besides the Lost Child video that I did as one of my first drama videos, which be careful, you go watch that one. I will never remake it. That's one of those I can never remake. No, I do not want some. I'm sorry, bud. But it since then I hadn't done another like in-universe type of video, and I loved how it turned out. It's fully voiced. Popo did the voice of Jason based off of what little we had available for a voice for Jason. And I really love how it turned out. And I'm going to be posting that probably tomorrow on the channel for people to watch. The reason why we haven't posted it is because that video was done and filmed and out right after Trump became president. And I have a very specific line within the first minute. And it's the line of evil prevails when good men do nothing. That actual full-on quote. And somebody on my channel, which almost never happens, took it politically. And so I talked to Chris and I was like, I'm not going to be able to put this out on the main channel for a while. We need to let things haven't calmed down, but at the same time, I think it's at a point to where I could release that and it not be taken the wrong way.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I mean, like there is great opportunity to drama mixed with comedy, you know, like the dark comedy, basically. I mean, you look at like, we deal a lot with women in refrigerators on our show, a lot. Like it is a trope for a reason. And going back to the most popular storylines, God, it happens a lot.
all the time.
We've had 2 videos that were just posted on the wrong damn day. One, I don't remember the character or the actor's name, but there was a guy from the
Decepticon video on September 11th was a really bad idea. I'm just going to let you know right now. Starscream should not be somebody that you're posting on September 11th. Sorry.
No, it's not. So there was an actor. There was a villain from Battlestar Galactica, and I made a video about him, and apparently he died that day. Everyone thought it was like a tribute video, but it was making him out to be like a moron. And people were like, "This isn't a good tribute video." I'm like, "Why would I be making a tribute video?" Oh shit, he died 3 hours before I posted the video.
Oh God.
But Levi has a much better one involving the Queen.
Oh no.
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes. So I had made the video, and this is the worst part because you don't understand.
He had shown it to me. We had planned it out. Yeah.
I had made it the Wednesday before. I had planned it out. I had made it and everything. And 5 minutes before the world found out that she died, I posted it.
Oh no.
And what happened to her in the video?
She is calling in about her immortality.
Oh no.
You could not. And I remember that afternoon, he messages me and he's like, "This might have been the wrong day." But I'm like, we have no way of knowing. We had no
the best
way
part
of
about
knowing.
it is that we I took the video down before I read the comments. Everyone loved the video. And the people who were seeing it were at the time it was posted were from the UK, who were like just laughing at it and everything. I'm like, and when I go back and I see that, I was like, and now when you see the video and people are making comments on it, now they're just pure laughing at it. It's hilarious. The few who noticed when it was posted though are like,
right,
that
timestamp.
Like,
I think the closest that we've gotten is that we had a conversation. We did Mouse last summer, and Mouse, Maus. It's the Art Spiegelman comic about the Holocaust. All done from the perspective of cartoon mice. But not only did we have a discussion about it, we had a discussion about it where we were wondering whether or not, with the election happening, because it was pre-election, we should release it. We ended up doing a classroom edition of it and in talking a lot about book banning. So we went, should we do this? And we went so much to the other side that it is the only classroom edition of our podcast that we have released.
Really?
Yeah.
Where I eliminated all swears. I eliminated all.
I think I did misspeak exactly one time because I wasn't thinking, and I said a naughty word that couldn't be taken out. But
yeah.
On my channel, there are an example of like how different things may wind up being. There's videos, multiple of them, that exist for a multitude of reasons. It started out as a way for me to post videos I wanted to post without censoring myself. Because there was a video that I wanted to make and Chris was like, no. And at the time it was like, no, why don't you just post that on your channel? And at the time, it's one of those things where we can get angry at each other and still come back. I was angry at Chris. I was furious with the way he said it. And now he came back like 2 hours later and it was like clarified his stance on it, which helped calm me down quite a bit. But at the time, it sounded like, why don't you just go do that on your thing? I don't care. I don't like it. Whatever. It sounded very rude and straightforward. And we've had this type of miscommunication a lot. So it's always one of those things where I'm really proud that we've gotten to a point in our relationship where we give it the other one some time to make sure what's being said. So I go and I create the channel. I post a video. The video does relatively okay. But there's videos on my channel that exist that are more political than what will ever be on this channel. Sure. A good example, besides the Lex Luthor video, is Snow White. I purposely wrote a version of Snow White that called out the age difference and stuff like that, how bad it really was that was written in there. And then I did a version of a zombie version of it that was hilarious. It did really well on the well, not like super well, but it did well for the niche type of video it was on this channel. So it has these massive differences because it was necessary. And I think that's cool because then you get to hear the differences between them. And I think, Josh, is that could be something that you could do in future if like you have something that goes in an entirely different way and then you have to go back and re-record it or something like that. There's nothing stopping you except yourself and what you want to put out there from going ahead and doing that video if you felt like it. Chris has discussed this before. There's jokes that we will never have, myself as well, that will never appear in a video. Motorcycle US, thank you, by the way, for the donation. Any thoughts about Deadpool and Ranapur?
I don't know what Ranapur is.
It is from Black Lagoon, an anime and manga. I looked it up because I was like, Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
What are you doing, kiddo?
No, we have lines as well. We generally let a lot of stuff fly, but in the case of Mouse, we wanted to put out a classroom edition because we had the resources. Where Leia works at a Jewish community center, so it is one of those things where she was probably the best person that we could get to discuss something as heavy as that. But also we still had a few jokes. We still had we tried to keep it a little okay, but
it was important to point out that it wasn't a story. This was somebody's lived experience, and it was just drawn in a graphic novel, but it was a 100% true story, and it wasn't just a piece of fiction. So we really did not have a lot that we could provide by way of analysis or character choices or things like that, because this is just somebody's memoir,
Right.
So
we made fun of it a lot less.
very, very much so. Yeah.
I
That
will say
reminds me
that
of the
both
start when
of
you
us-
mentioned Magneto in
in Secret, what was it called?
in a Hydra outfit.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Secret
That-
Empire.
Hydra
Secret
outfit.
Empire.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, Alan Purcell.
That to me is like a fundamental lack of understanding of the character and why they were made.
Yes, Secret Empire was the name of the
Yes.
series, and yeah, as
That's
we're going through
that's
it,
not a fan made. That's a legitimate official.
that was a
art.
legitimate cover released by Marvel. Yep, like somebody did. We also talk a lot about there are risque covers that are released, and people are like, "Oh." My favorite example is the Impossible Spider-Woman cover.
Yeah, the one where
he is-
you can see both her front and her rear at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just typing Spider-Woman cover.
Isn't that Elastigirl?
Well, but the thing is that
we're not going to talk about Pixar moms and
No.
No.
the artist that they got to do it, his name is Milo Manara. He is a Brazilian artist that's known for erotic comics. Like he's one of his most famous things was in Penthouse Comics back in the 90s. Like that is what he does. I am not going to fault the artist for that. I am going to fault Marvel for hiring that artist.
Exactly.
Certain artists do certain things.
Is
I
it
would
this one?
honestly say I would fault Marvel for not being clear about the
Is it
type
that
of-
one?
Yes.
Yeah.
My eyes.
Anyway, Leia and I both have a heart out that we have to say goodbye. But this has been amazing.
It's been a blast. Absolutely.
And we will be here in a month. Let's schedule it. Let's keep doing this. We are going to start putting stuff together for season 8. One of the things that I wanted to announce is that Chris will be coming back for our premiere.
Hooray.
He will be doing part 2 of Age of Apocalypse.
A year and a half later.
And we will be continuing Age of Apocalypse. So I'm glad that everybody was here. Please listen to our show. It's been a labor of love for
Yes.
6 seasons, and we're going to keep going with it just because it amuses us, if nothing else. But we want to amuse more people.
Yeah. This was fantastic. I had a blast. Levi, I hope you had a good time as well. Great having you guys on. I cannot wait to have you back. I'm so looking forward to talking about the stuff that you come up with. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we will drop off, but you guys talk to you soon.
Yes.
Have a great night.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right.
That can be fun, Motorcycle US. Thank you.
That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. The massive amount of topics and talking about like the different things that we have done throughout the years with somebody was really, really fun.
Yeah.
So
for everyone who's watching, I met Josh in 2001 when I was in college, and he lived in town. My college is near Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where Josh grew up. 2002, a mutual friend of ours opened up a bar in my college town, and Josh was the lead bartender. So I mean, that was when he and I like became good friends. So literally, someone I've been friends with for 23 years.
I have
so
few
cool.
friends like that, I do not get to talk to them very often. Anymore.
It's so cool for that to come full circle and both of us be doing creative projects that we can find a way to blend together.
I have something I've got to ask that I haven't bothered. What is in the corner of your camera? Right there. Right there.
That is my light. I know as it was there.
that has bugged me the entire time. I just didn't know if it was like something on the wall, and I didn't want to distract you.
Yeah,
with it.
no, it's good. I need to hop off too. This was super fun. It went by real quick.
Oh yeah.
But it's been 2 hours, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a lot of great comments. People saying, asking Josh and Leia to come back again, which we'll make that a monthly thing as they mine stuff out of their podcasts and just goofy things in old comics that I think a lot of the older comic fans are going to be like, yes. Because we have avoided those because Levi and I don't know that stuff. We've had to go Google it and be like, well, this is what it says. That doesn't make sense. How do we do that?
And so that will be a nice resource. Real quick, because we do need to plug the things that we get. But eventually,
Yep.
So this, because it's out of the stream, I'm thinking that whenever we do something like this, we whether it be on podcast or I prefer it to be at the end. So if people don't want to listen to it,
I agree.
So both of us have this. We have it in different colors. Mine's silver. You can't see it in the lighting very
Mine's bronzish.
well. It does have, when it's closed, you can hear the clicking. This is how it opens. It's an amazing set of dice. These are from Unique Dice as well.
Yep, the dice are bullet shaped and have the numbers on them. It's fantastic. I noticed there isn't a D4 though.
No, there is. Should be.
Where?
Should have all the dice that are required.
I have 6, 8, 10, 12, 20, and
Whoa, wait a minute. You're right. It doesn't.
So I guess you roll the D8 and just cut it in half.
That's something I didn't realize.
What?
Yeah, that's a 3. But no, a D4 rolls much differently than a D8, though.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't realize that.
I thought you did.
That's enough to buy us. Of course, they make this wonderful set of dice as well.
Yep.
Unique Dice has a lot of cool things. They are not an official sponsor as of yet, but you can, through our affiliate link, buy something. Yes, that should be hashtag
I got it.
dice, right? Yeah, there it is.
It's not in a band. Okay. Where is it?
So, that should take you to the link.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're not using honey, because otherwise honey will steal the
Yep. If
affiliate.
you have the browser extension honey, turn that off, because what honey will do is it will notice you're going to a site that it has an affiliate code for. It will remove our affiliate code and insert its own affiliate code. So they will get paid for the purchase versus us.
And you don't have to buy any of the dice that we showed off. You can buy any of the dice that are there with
Correct.
that link, and we will still get a bit of commission from that. That's a way to help and for you guys to get something off of it. As of course, we have our merch store and stuff like that. I do want to thank everyone for joining us, having fun, sticking around, all that kind of stuff. I keep forgetting to do the Grimm Brothers show or OG Tales. I'm a fan of the Grimm fairy tales. I love the show that they came out with a few years ago. Chris, I would suspect you know at least the original fairy tales.
I'm aware of most of them, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we can absolutely do them. I would love, in fact, let me make a note here. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to let Chris look at that in the general chat on Discord. Yeah.
Yeah. And even if he's not in them, he knows them.
Absolutely. So we're not going to give that one away right now. If it doesn't become a reality fast enough, I will say something because I always do. And then we'll wind up making it like a week later because we get inspired. But hopefully we'll be able to make something. Me and Chris are going to pop off, though. We're going to have a small discussion. It's late for Chris. It's late for me. It's late for you. Give me a hug.
Can't reach you.
I want to thank you all for joining us. Remember, take it one breath, one step, one day at a time. I wish you all peace of mind, serenity, body, and spirit, and harmony among others. I don't think I've ever explained that one. I will at a later time. Until the winds blow your sails my way again, have an Acme day. And remember, having an Acme day
is a product of villain. Having an Acme day will eventually build to your account. Have an Acme day.
And it simply means to have the best day you possibly can. Bye now.
Yep. All right.
Oh, yeah.